All right, everyone. I am joined here today by Beast Boy Mike Davis, UFC fighter, 3-1 on a 3-fight winning streak, looking to improve as always. Mike, let's get started. I wanted to ask you, I know you're a big fan of the Last of Us video game. Did you watch the TV series at all?
Yeah, of course.
How did you like it?
Of
How did, did
course.
you did you enjoy it? I mean, I saw a lot of good reviews.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. It's fun and it follows the game very well. I was actually a little shocked how well it followed the game. So this is great. Right now they're at an amazing part of the game. It's about to get a little fun.
Good. Good. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Yeah, I know one of my friends got the game and he said it was incredible. I never watched the show because I never played the game, but I can assume that it follows it very well because of what you said and what my friend told me.
That is literally my favorite game to play for any system that I've come across. It's the most like story involving video game. It's you can really dive into it and connect with all the characters.
Yeah, it's what I heard, that the storyline is just so easy to follow and that it's just so in depth and diverse that like it can appeal to a lot of different people. So you're a gamer, you stream a lot of Warzone. What games are you playing now?
Right now I'm playing, obviously Warzone all the time, but I play Back for Blood,
Okay.
and my streaming friends, they're trying to get me to play Star Citizen. They keep asking me to play and play, like Chris Curtis and Sherrard, always asking me, bro. I don't know why I'm so against playing this game. I feel like I don't want to get dive into it and get immersed in this video game.
What's it about? I
Like
never heard of it.
it's just everything.
Okay.
It's literally everything, but it's mostly like galactic stuff. It's space. It's very close to real as you can get.
Okay.
So you need like a joystick to fly ships and all that stuff.
Okay, cool. Cool. Do you consider fighting or streaming your full-time job? I always wondered that.
I consider, mm, I guess they're both not really full time jobs
That's what
because
I
I
was
don't
thinking.
do
Do you
either.
consider both a
I don't.
part-time?
Yeah, they're both like
Okay.
part time jobs. I'm gonna try and get more into streaming now that I'm finally in a new place and a new. I have an entire content room here, so it's set. The setup's done.
I
Just
mean, it looks
about. I'm
great.
gonna do
It
the.
looks beautiful.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna do the ceiling after this. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna try and take streaming full time this year and see what I can do with it.
I mean, I've watched a lot of fighter interviews and different things. You obviously have the best setup. I mean, even at your old setup, it was a great, like, you could just tell that like your setup is a lot better than everyone else's. You're more geared towards it, which obviously you're a streamer, but it's
Well,
good. It's good for interviews.
yeah, yeah. Everyone else is just on their phone. I know all the other fighters like, oh shit, I got an interview. Let me pull up my phone and use my front facing camera and do this interview. Nah,
Yeah,
but I've got a over $1,000 camera right here.
definitely get good use out of it.
Yeah.
So you stay out of the MMA world mostly when you're not training or fighting. Are there any sports that you do follow when you're in your free time?
No, I barely even watch fighting.
Okay. Okay.
It's yeah, I just whenever I'm not training or fighting, I kind of just zone out entirely. So I don't have to deal with the mental frustration of if I did well or if I feel bad. I'm sore because of training. I don't want to associate my life entirely to MMA like a lot of these other fighters do. Because I want to go out, I want to live, I want to travel, I want to experience the world and not think of fighting.
So other than travel
I,
and gaming, tell me some other hobbies you have.
I, I don't know. I can draw. I don't draw anymore, but I can.
Okay.
I would now that I got the camera. Ever since I got this camera, I've been. I made a Fiverr, and it's like freelance work.
Yeah.
And I guess big. I look good. I mean, I think so. Very marketable. People send me products to take pictures of, and I'll take pictures of the product and post it, or not post it, but send it back to them. I get paid. I made $1,500 on Fiverr. I started it in like October, just taking
Wow.
pictures with this camera. Yeah, so it's
That's great. Wow.
maybe I can do that and get better at photography. So now I'm really liking photography. I learned so much about this camera and the lenses and everything, aperture, and everything you need to take good pictures.
Okay, it seems like you really got into this.
Yeah, so I'm definitely I'm liking photography. Let me see what I can do with it.
So when you were growing up, did you ever want to like have a bunch of part-time jobs the way you do now, or were you focused on getting like a single like full-time? Like did you have something specific in mind growing up?
Never.
Mm-hmm.
I never really got a grip on what I wanted to do in life. Even even in college, I was kind of all over the place.
Okay.
I initially started college for general studies just so I could get a feel for what made sense to me. And I never stuck with anything. I did some police academy training and I didn't really like it. I did like accounting, management, didn't like those. So now I have a degree in exercise physiology and nutrition. So
Okay.
I use that to my benefit in my career. Like weight cuts are easy. I know what to eat, how to eat. I could definitely say I'm one of the most in shape fighters in the UFC.
Yeah.
Maybe not cardio wise, but physique and whatnot.
No,
But
I definitely understand what
yeah.
you mean.
Initially, I thought maybe I would be like an like a what are you, personal trainer maybe?
Okay.
But even that, I decided it's too much of my time to give. So I have to take out of my day, give you 2 hours, an hour, give this person 2 hours, give
Yeah,
this
so
person
many
an hour,
different
give
people.
it. Yeah.
You're revolving your
So
life around other people at that point and not
yeah.
yourself. So yeah, I get what you mean.
What I will do is I will open myself up more to seminars. That way I can travel the world as I would like to and get paid for it.
Okay. Okay. You're a really diverse guy, Mike. You're out there doing a lot of different things. I mean, you fight, you do
Yeah.
photography, you're a gamer. I mean, you just
It's the ADHD in my head. I'm just
it's
I
great.
just like
It's
to
great.
I'm liking to live. I like to live.
No, I love it because clearly what you did is you went through life, did a bunch of different things, decided what you liked, what you didn't, and you found out what you liked, and now that's what you're sticking with. I mean, I really do appreciate what you're doing with your life. You're doing what you want. It's great.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how Anthony Johnson was with you during your pro debut and your relationship with him.
Oh, oh, I just showed up to my pro debut and I guess he was like a surprise guest for
Oh,
the
okay.
venue of House of Fame. So I was nervous because I'm terrified of fighting. I was terrified of fighting, and I was fighting the number one fighter in Florida, uh, 4-time state champ wrestler, and he was like 16-3 as an amateur, and we're both making our pro debut. So I was kind of nervous. I was walking around and I bumped into him, and he kind of gave me insight on what it's like to fight and how he's doing everything, the mentality he has. And then the one thing he told me is that you always get to go home after, so it's like nothing to be afraid of. And I've stuck with that throughout. And year by year, I've become more just aware of the fact that I'm gonna go home. I'm not gonna be that hurt. So it's fine. Like fighting is nothing to be afraid of. And then ever since then I became a striker because I was pure wrestling and grappling before my like first three professional fights.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at my amateur career, it's submission, submission. I
So
was
I
just
was
a
actually going
grappler.
to ask you about that. So that was what the transition was. That's what made the switch in your mind.
Yeah, just the
Okay.
fact that I'm not gonna get too hurt. Just nothing's gonna hurt me.
Because no, I did. I looked through your amateur results and it was submission, submission, submission. And then I looked through your pro results and I mean, most of your wins are by knockout. I mean,
Yeah, the
you had a
finish.
complete flip of style switch and you ran with it. I mean, you're doing
Yeah,
amazing things and you obviously still have that wrestling and submission base to show that you have this knockout power now too. I mean, you're one of the most diverse fighters at lightweight right now.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so too.
definitely.
But
Definitely.
the striking came out of nowhere.
I
Um,
mean,
I
your
mean,
striking was crazy. The video you
I
posted
come
right
from a
before we
boxing
came on.
background. I come from a boxing background, and with the boxing and wrestling. I did them both at the same time. But because I did my whole amateur career focused on my grappling and my wrestling, taking people down and submitting them. When I got to the pro career, I did the same for the first fight, but it was a TKO. I finished it on the ground. Ever since I knew that I'm going to out wrestle everyone else and they can't really touch me in wrestling, I just started throwing my hands, and eventually, like 3 or 4 fights, I was untouchable on the feet because I'm not afraid of you shooting on me.
Yeah.
Gilbert Burns is the only person who ever took me down, ever, and that's because he outweighs me by 40 pounds.
Well, I mean,
So,
he's Gilbert Burns.
yeah.
That's a different situation. I wanted to actually ask you a little bit about what you think of his performance. I mean, obviously, like you said, you don't really keep up, but I think you would have seen what happened in his fight against Neil Magny. How'd you feel about that?
Oh my! There's a clip somewhere because I was doing a podcast with a bunch of people watching the fights, and when he subbed Neil Magny, they announced my name, said like that's the first submission since Mike Davis, and I was like, oh wow, they're freaking roasting
Thanks.
me. And then I was like, you know what? It's cool because I lasted 2 rounds and almost knocked him out. Neil Magny lasted half a round,
You
so I
lasted
did
what,
better.
like 9 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, you lasted double the amount of time that Neil Magny did, and you were at a lower weight class. He was a
I
lot
was
bigger
coming
than
from
you.
45.
I know.
Yeah,
Technically there was like a real like 2 weight class difference there. I know you said that
yeah.
somewhere, but there was. So I mean, him just walking through Neil Magny like that really proves how good you are on the ground to be able to last that long in there with someone so skilled like Gilbert.
That's good.
How
Yeah,
is
I'll
it?
run with that.
Oh, sorry. How is it training with guys like Phil Rowe and Dustin Poirier? I know you're best friends with Phil Rowe, obviously, and you say Dustin is your inspiration, one of your big inspirations. Just tell me how it is training with two guys like that. Philly Fresh is one of my favorites, and Dustin Poirier, I mean, he is like a horse. So
Yeah. Training with Dustin is great. I get to see how the UFC will start to treat you when you become somebody in the sport instead of just like climbing the ranks how I was. I know Dustin was there too. And now that he's at the top, it's interesting to see like Dana White pull up beside us and get out of his car to talk to us and stuff. And like that's treatment you would never get unless you were up in the rankings. So it's nice to see how he portrays himself behind the scenes rather than what you guys see. He's a really good guy.
oh yeah, I can
And
only imagine.
the fact that I learn a lot from him striking wise and his boxing coach, Daya. So it's really good there. I think when it comes to like wrestling and grappling, I'm still outshining a lot of these people. And then with Phil, because me and Phil have known each other since the beginning of our pro careers.
Okay.
Um, Probably I want to say like the beginning of our pro careers. Definitely. When I moved to Florida 10 years ago, and we've known each other ever since.
Okay.
So he's kind of like my big brother, and training with him every day, pushing each other, learning. It's more like a family thing to me. So it makes me feel really good to be in the gym around those people.
You feel like, I mean, obviously, but how much do you feel like being around people like that helps you as a fighter? Because I know there's other fighters that, not refuse to train with anyone, but they refuse to really have good relationships with people. And like, they kind of just want to stay to themselves and, do their own thing. How does having these relationships with other fighters improve you as a person?
Gives you a sense of bonding. That's why I mean a lot of fighters are just clearly about themselves. They just want to fight, they just want to hurt people, and they don't really experience life a lot. You'll see these people constantly in the gym and never posting family gathering. They don't post anything but fighting. Like their whole life is just fighting. And I feel like that breaks you at some point. You
Yeah,
get you get overwhelmed. You're just going to get bored of this.
I definitely agree. So what?
Keeping a sorry, keeping a family based gym encourages you to be there because now you're going to see your family every day, and you guys laugh and you guys learn all the time, and it makes you like a genuine person, but it also because you guys are working on each other, make each other better. There's no one in the gym that has confrontational like advantages. We are all improving at the same time,
Got
and
it.
we're all leveling up together instead of the egos being like, I'm the better person at the gym, blah blah blah. So it's important.
I can only imagine how good it is to have people like that around you. Like like I said, Phil Rowe and Dustin, they do both seem like amazing fighters and guys, just people outside of the game. So really, really good people there in Florida. What makes Thailand your favorite place to travel to?
A lifestyle. So geez, I think I'm gonna go back in June when they do the tryouts this year.
Okay.
um they keep the owner of Tiger Muay Thai asked me to come by all the time. So it's about time I go back. I love it there because of the environment. Not only can you train all day instead of like America, while say fusion, you have the 2 sessions in the morning and 2 sessions at night every day. In Thailand, you can go to the gym any time of the day and there's something that you can do. There's
Okay.
always people there, always trainers there. So it's just packed around Muay Thai. And I mean, they have jiu-jitsu and wrestling and whatnot. But then if you don't want to train, there's like a world. It's so different. $2 to fill up a moped and drive from the bottom of Thailand to the middle of Thailand. And you get to see elephants on the side of the road and monkeys and dogs and all these animals. There's stuff you don't see here.
That's pretty
Food is
cool.
really good. I got a acai bowl, and the lady went out back. I watched her go out back and pick fruit. You don't do that in America.
No, no, I don't think I've ever seen that at all. I've gotten a couple acai bowls, and it's right out of those like tin bins or whatever
Pre-made,
they
yeah.
have. Like yeah, pre-made sitting in
The
like the
banana, the
cases.
banana powder,
Yeah.
whatever they made in the lab. Yeah,
Seriously though, that's what it is. That's what it is.
that's why I like Thailand.
Tell us about the Tiger Muay Thai tryouts in 2019 and how brutal those were, because I saw you post about those and I can only imagine how hard they were. I know you got
Oh,
pissed.
it's
You
crazy.
said you got picked first in those, right? And
Yeah,
yeah,
I was the tryout winner.
yes.
So the tryouts aren't as bad as people kind of play them out to be. It looks bad, but if you're a fighter and you go there and you're kind of in shape, it's pretty much like just some good training days, some really good
Yeah.
training days. I know people see the pad work. That's what people are afraid of, because during the pad work, they're gonna call out a combination. They know your combination, so when you go to throw your kick, they're gonna kick your leg or they're gonna knee you in the stomach and punch you in the face, and they're just trying to see if you can kind of overcome being punched. If
Yeah.
you are tough enough to stay in the fight, even if you're getting hit. That's what they want to see. They're trying to break you at the end. And the run up the mountain to Big Buddha is 2.5 miles of pure hill. There's no stop, just pure hill. So it's very difficult.
Yeah.
The wrestling was fun, but again, I'm a really good wrestler, so that was very easy. Jiu-jitsu was fun. I didn't have a single issue there. The striking was fun. The one guy who they told you not to hit hard in the head, and the first thing he does is throw the hardest head kick at me. So I was like, okay, you want to play fucking games? And that ended bad for him.
Yeah, I can
And
only
that was it.
imagine.
That was the whole tryout.
I know what's it.
I
So
feel like
what
now
was the
that
story behind that guy?
and
Oh, sorry.
no. I forgot about the delay. The story behind that guy is the fact that they told us not to go hard to the head.
Okay.
Do like 50 to the head, 100% to the body. Fazib was even offering 500 baht to anyone who could drop somebody with body shots. So the first thing this guy does is he's like trying to knee people in the face, and everyone's looking and they're just watching this guy attack people. This Brazilian I think he was like 8-0 as a pro. He's like attacking people. So then they're like, Mike, we want to see you go with him. I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? So I get over to him. We touch gloves. He throws a nice little jab, and he hits me because I wasn't really ready to see what he was going to spar like. So I'll just kind of test him out. He jabs, he hits me, and then a big head kick. I block it, but it was hard. I felt it through my gloves. It's like, oh, you want to throw hard head kicks? All right, let's play. And then I fucking annihilated this guy.
Nice.
I don't think he hit me at all the rest of the round.
Do you when you were there, did you find a lot of people like that, or was that like not common? Was there more like just regular training sessions?
For the sparring like that.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they I mean, I sparred and went to their normal classes,
Mhm.
and they're not that bad. It's kind of like you'd spar here where you guys will throw like 70%, where you're getting hit, but it's not gonna knock you out kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. That makes complete sense. So you've talked in the past about your thoughts about not wanting to fight anymore after your losses to Sadiq Yusuf, after your loss to Gilbert Burns, and how you just you didn't know if you belonged here. Well, after this 3-fight win streak, I think you definitely have proven that you do. So tell me how those losses affected you mentally, because I know you said you go and talk to therapists, and
Yeah.
that's a big part of what helps you. So just tell me about the mental side of those losses and how you were able to turn that into success.
Well, it's different because my loss against Sadiq was the first one in my entire combat career.
Amazing fight, by
So
the way. I just want to say that I've watched that fight probably
thank
20
you.
times. My friend actually started watching MMA and UFC based on that fight. I just want to let you
Oh,
know.
it was a good one.
Yes, it was an amazing fight.
Someone made a video for me where it just shows all of the like contact points and playing like punching sounds while I was going, and it was a fight.
Oh,
It was kind of fun.
oh yeah. I can only imagine how fun it was.
But that fight was my first loss. So after the fight, that was like I was emotional. Uriah Hall was talking to me after the fight, telling me like that was the most amazing fight I've ever seen on this show. There's nothing to be disappointed about. And I was like in tears, just chilling in the back, sitting in a chair. He's like, bro, you're gonna make it. I know you are. And it was like 2 fights after that, but because I lost, I I figured that it was time I explore my options, not in not like leaving MMA, but as my training. Because at the time I was training up in Daytona, and all it was a boxing gym. Nobody there knew how to wrestle. Nobody there knew how to do BJJ. I mean, of course there were people that were doing MMA. So yeah, there were wrestlers of their own caliber, and grapplers of their own caliber. No one was learning anything. It was just boxing. Keeping my hands and stuff accurate. My hands, making sure my hands are up when I spar, and working on my head movement, keeping my boxing clean. It's just all it was. So when I fought Sadiq, I was a boxer in my mind, heavy on my lead leg. It was really bad. And they talked to me. Lloyd Irving talked to me after the fight. Sadiq talked to me after the fight. We were both at the hospital. And he said that was the game plan. We noticed you were a very good boxer. You're undefeated. And because you were boxing, you lean on your lead leg. So the game plan was to take it away from you.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So it was smart. And then
Yeah.
after
Smart.
that, I realized that I'm too heavy relying on my boxing. So I left my gym that I was at for like 5 years. Family like treated me like family, invited me to dinner, Christmas, and everything. And just after that fight, I was like, I can't do it. If I want to fight and make it to the UFC, I'm leaving. And I left that gym. I went to Fusion, where I am now. I mean, I stayed at Fusion for a couple years and then went to ATT. But I came back to Fusion. Fusion is definitely a gym worth staying at.
Gotcha. That
Oh yeah, sorry. The Gilbert Burns
Fire.
loss wasn't really anything because I took it on like 5 days notice, and they're like, take this fight, you in the UFC, or you can wait and see if they'll call you. And I was like, I don't want to see if they'll call me. I'll just take the fight.
Did you
I
know
don't know.
that
I
Based
didn't know
on
who Gilbert Burns was.
no. Based on a good performance, did you know that you still had that job in the UFC? Did you sign a 3-fight contract? What was the circumstances based on
For
that?
for Gilbert Burns,
Yes.
it was a 4-fight contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that just went up, right?
Oh no, I'm on a second contract.
Oh yes.
I'm
Okay.
a I'm 1 fight into my second contract.
Okay. And what's this contract now? Another 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So I actually wanted to
But
talk to you about
say
that
I
contract.
win my next fight, I get another win 4 in a row. They're gonna re-sign me again. So it'll be the start of a third contract. Instead of
Okay.
fighting my 4 fights, 2 good performances, you get a re-sign. 2 bad performances, you get kicked.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes some decent sense, I guess.
Just 2 out of the 4. You have to perform well 2 out of the 4.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So you barely cut weight. Does the current state of weight
Yeah.
cutting in the UFC ever annoy you? And do you think that there needs to be something done to kind of even the playing grounds out a little bit?
No, I mean
Okay.
it's something that we do. It's kind of like the norm.
Yeah.
Um, People just cut weight, and if all the fighters were to stop cutting weight, then it would make sense. You
Mhm.
just fight at your walk around weight. But because fighters will cut weight as a size advantage, specifically for the size advantage, then I have to keep cutting weight.
Oh yeah, good luck
Because
getting
if
every
I
single fighter to stop cutting weight.
yeah, if
Yeah.
I fight at 170, the people who fight um actually if I didn't cut weight, I would fight around 170.
Yeah.
Now, it would make sense for me to fight people fighting at 170, like if I fought uh Bichislav, like if I fought him and he didn't cut weight and I didn't cut weight, we fought at like 175 or
Yeah.
whatever fuck we walk around that. That makes sense. But if I'm gonna fight at 170, but I'm the only one cutting, I'm fighting Gilbert Burns again. So it doesn't make
Exactly.
sense.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't make sense to throw yourself in there with
Gilbert Burns, who
advantages.
surpasses 200 pounds. This doesn't make sense. I got to keep cutting weight because everyone cuts weight.
No, you have to, definitely. So I was a little bit interested by this. I saw that you said your favorite fight of all time was anything that involved Khabib. What makes Khabib interesting for you to watch? And like, is it the dominance? Like, I'm just interested in what makes Khabib interesting
Khabib.
to you.
Khabib's not my favorite to watch.
No?
I'll say Max Holloway is one of my favorites to watch, but I I like Khabib's uh determination
Okay.
regardless of what's happening in the fight. He has his game plan and he always executes it, which is the smartest way you can do. And he's gotten to the point where it's you sign it to fight him, you already know what's going to happen, and he's so determined to do it. It just happens anyway.
Okay.
There's nothing you can prepare for.
Yeah, so basically just the dominance, the mindset, the way
Mhm.
he can just
Yeah,
run through people and that you know what's gonna happen, and then he goes out there and executes
you
it
will
every time.
see the fighters he fights. You will see them break mentally in the octagon,
You really
and
do.
that's like it's kind of
I'm
where
not
I
sure
want to
where
be in a
I'm not sure
bit.
where I saw that. I think it was an interview you did with Alex Bahunin.
Okay,
I think you said something about Khabib's fights, and that's where I got that question from.
I like watching Khabib fight,
Okay.
but if I was gonna watch fights for
Mm.
entertainment, it would be Max Holloway.
Okay. Yeah, I figured more an answer like that would make sense. That's why I was a little interested in the Khabib answer that was there that I saw. So when you were an amateur, you what's it? You had about 7 cancellations. No, my bad. Before your third pro fight, you had 7 cancellations and
Oh yeah.
pullouts, including a no-show. Tell me a little bit about that whole situation. What did you think people were scared after your amateur performances? Like, what's up with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I knew too. Going into my pro career, I knew after I beat the number one in Florida, if I was gonna fight in Florida, nobody was really gonna take the fight, specifically because I just beat the number one person in Florida. So at my weight class, of course. So it made it a little difficult for me to get another fight. My second pro fight, they flew someone in from California to fight me. And then after that, nobody in the whole nobody would fight me. I went through I've seen the lists, front and back pages, 9-0, 9-1, 10-0. Nobody would fight me. Nobody wanted to risk a loss. Nobody wanted to get beat up. Nothing. So I left that promotion and got signed by oh, Island Fights.
Hmm.
And when I signed with Island Fights, they're a regional promotion, so they got a little more leverage. And even they had front and back pages of people not wanting to fight me. So they did a lot of work. And Dean Toole is the one who he works with so many companies, so many organizations. He's the one that got me the fights I needed to get to the UFC. Like anybody that would say yes, he flew him in just to fight.
That's great. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yes, you definitely owe a lot to him because without him, you probably would have had a lot slower startup, huh?
I had such a slow. I was waiting like 2 years for a fight.
I You waited 2 years for a fight recently in the UFC. I
Yeah,
mean, it
yeah.
it didn't stop after your amateur career.
No,
You're still having problems finding fights out here.
I feel like I'm in a spot where I'm in the UFC, right? And I'm a little too low for the higher people to take the fight. And because I'm good as well. They don't want to risk.
Yeah.
And then for like newcomers, they don't want to fight because I'm good. So I'm kind of like a limbo. I feel like the numbering system the is how, or maybe how fights should go. If I'm ranked 30, then it's 25 to 30. One person in that list is who I should fight.
So let me ask you, currently, where do you feel you're ranked at the lightweight division? If you had to rank yourself, like obviously you have your own opinion, but not if you had to be as non-biased as possible based on your wins, where would you rank yourself at lightweight? Because you know the rankings aren't based off just talent and skill; it's based off
Yeah,
of who
yeah.
you've beaten. And so, in terms
Yeah.
of that, where would you rank yourself? Because Tapology had you at 39 at lightweight, and I saw a couple guys above you that you were definitely better than, but
I would say in the top 20.
okay, gotcha.
I'm not sure who's in the top 20, but I would say I'm in the top 20.
All right, definitely fair. So you've said multiple times that you won't fight top 15 guys because of your level of pay, but you are now on a 3-fight win streak and you're going to have to start fighting better and better opposition. So are there any specific names in mind for your next fight or any opponents that interest you?
I still want anyone who sucks.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep saying it. It's the only answer I'm gonna give. I want people who don't know how to fight.
Okay.
I want someone like Patty the Batty. I mean, his last performance was terrible. I'm not calling him out because I don't care who I fight, but that's like someone like that. Someone who's gonna get held against the cage, not doing anything for 3 rounds.
So I have a couple names here that were ranked around your ranking in that topology ranking that still aren't in the top 15. So they fit your criteria of looking for a next fight. Do any of these fights interest you at all? Just throwing them out there. Mark JKC, Matt Frivola, Terrence McKinney. Just those 3 names.
I grow and live down the road from Matt Frivola.
Okay.
So I feel like and I know his dad, so I don't really want to fight him. They've tried to match us up before, and
Okay.
it was the only fight I was offered just for so long. So I was like, if Matt wants to fight, I will fight him, and they refused to fight. They are denied the fight.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense. I actually didn't know that. That's crazy.
Me and Terrence McKinney technically worked together a bit, um, trying to get involved with some brands and companies,
Okay.
and then
Mark
Mark
JKC.
Mark Casey. He's good. Probably who did he just fight?
Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson. He did good against Michael
And
Johnson. I mean,
he
that's
beat
it.
Slava Claus before that, just like
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So we both come like a similar style. That's an interesting fight.
Yeah, I thought it'd be really cool to see. I think you would definitely
I feel
win.
like he has a lot more fights than I do.
Mm-hmm. He does. Probably the same thing as Gilbert Burns, where he has more fights in the
Yeah,
UFC than you have in your career.
yeah. So see
Yeah.
that pay difference is what I'm trying to negotiate a fix for that before I
Okay.
get up there.
Gotcha. Definitely makes sense. So you fought in a ring for most of your fights. because I
Yeah.
saw a lot of your amateur fights and even a couple of your pro fights coming up. You fought in a ring. Did take a little bit of used to getting to the cage? Did it take a little bit of getting used to the cage, or were you always in the cage in camp and it really didn't make a difference?
Not really. I kind of tend to stay away from the walls, so it doesn't
Okay.
matter. I'm good at wrestling. I can wrestle in the open. And ever since I was introduced to a cage late, or now I train against the wall,
Mm.
and it technically represents the cage. I think my cage wrestling is Khabib level, 100%. So I like the fact that I get to use a cage all the time.
Okay.
And if I can get a hold, I can just get you to a cage. And if I decide to initiate wrestling, I'm getting you down. There's 100%. You're going to the floor.
So you'd say the cage is definitely the preference over the ring.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
the ring sucks because you'll get stuck in the ring and then you'll try to
You'll fall
punch.
out.
You have to like punch around the ropes. You'll throw a punch and your arm will bounce off and you won't hit your land. So it's
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like
gotta
when I
do.
think of a ring, I think WWE. You know what I mean? I don't think
Yeah.
like MMA and combat. Like boxing's different, like but like I think more WWE style. Like I don't I don't want to see people throwing like knees, elbows, and kicks while possibly bouncing off the ring.
And it's just weird.
It is. It definitely is. So were you confused when you heard that 29-28 scorecard in the Slavic Claws fight? I definitely was. I'll be honest.
I think they gave him because the second round I choked on water. So I wasn't like I was kind of more focused on trying to just clear my throat while fighting. So I was kind of staring him in the mirror and I know they mentioned that. I was kind of just really slow and fucking too long for me to get like initiate what I wanted to do. I can see them giving him a bigger round for round two.
Okay. But when you heard the 30-26s, like
That made
you
sense.
yeah, that made sense. Like you knew you won
Yeah.
already. So obviously, because the 30-26s were announced first. So once you heard the 29-28, it was like whatever, I already won the fight.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it definitely doesn't look right. Looking back on it, it does not look right seeing two 30-26s next to a 29-28. That's two completely different
Yeah.
fights. I mean,
That is true.
so you were pretty vocal about the Patty decision, just like recently. So what's your
Yeah.
solution to judging in the UFC and scorecards like that 29-28 and Patty's decision and things like that?
I need or I would like to see people who fight or have fought as judges, not just some random guys that decided this is their job and their career. I want someone who knows how to judge a fight, what to look for, and not just because of popularity. That's how Patty won out of popularity.
I'll let you say
The
it.
20 the 29-28, I have no idea. That person may have just wanted me to lose. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. It's all I think it's bias. A lot of it's bias.
Okay. Do you think that see the way I would see it, the solution I see, and it's not a perfect solution by any means, but at least it'd be something, is you have judges look for different things. You kind of shorten up the criteria a bit in terms of what goes into scoring a fight. And
Yeah.
then you have like one judge look for who's winning grappling exchanges, one judge look at who's winning striking exchanges, one judge look at, control time of the octagon
Yeah.
and on the ground. Just kind of break it up and make it easier so that guys are only watching certain aspects of the fight or something like
Yeah.
that. There has to
That's smart too.
there has to be something because obviously what's happening now is not the solution. A lot of people are getting upset and the UFC is losing a lot of credibility with some of these decisions.
Yeah.
It's definitely becoming a problem. So
100%.
so do you still plan to test free agency after you fight out this contract?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I I did make a post, when Francis left. Um like I said, after Francis left, I feel like there's something clearly weird with the UFC, especially if you have someone who is a champion and a very powerful, very influential champion as Francis, someone who's, I mean, knocking people out one punch, kind of refer to him as a one punch man. and he doesn't want to fight for you guys anymore because you guys don't pay enough, or you guys won't let him do what Connor was able to do. And I don't know. I just feel there's more out there, definitely. But I'm in a growing spot. So right now, I'm kind of building my name up. But of course, if I get offers here that are irresistible, I'm going to take them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Do you mind me asking right now what your current contract is?
My pay,
Yeah, like to
I'm
show
at,
and to win.
I'm 25 and 25.
Okay, that's definitely underpaid.
That was my last fight
Yeah, you're definitely
against
underpaid, but
Slava.
if you get more for your next fight, that'd be great.
Yeah. Oh, the next one they'll bump it up to like 28 and 28.
And then after that is when they will give
Yeah,
you
I win that fight, they'll
and
renegotiate.
gotcha.
Then I'm gonna shoot for 50 and 50. It'll probably be more like 44, 44.
I mean, still definitely a lot better from considering
Yeah.
what you deserve.
Yeah.
So, how much do you believe you're worth? If you had to put a number next to your name in terms of show and win, what do you believe you're worth? How much do you think you should be making a fight?
Based on my skill set, my ability to talk to people. I know a lot of people who don't really talk very well. Uh how I'm trying to expose myself, the person I am, I think, and I always fight, or I bring fights. So I would say I'm worth six figures. I'll say 100 flat.
Okay. So
You don't
that's
have to
what
pay me
so
a
that's what
penny
you're looking
more.
for is like 50
Just
and 50?
uh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was wanting as a re-signed negotiation after I beat Mason.
Okay.
I was shooting for 35, but I got 25. So
Okay.
that's how they are. I think Bellator offered me like 30 and 30.
Okay. Not not crazy. So let me just throw it out there because it definitely is just something to consider. I know they just dropped a big bag on Jake Paul, but PFL is throwing contracts out there.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, Shane Burgos said he got paid decent amount
Oh
more
yeah.
than what he was in the
Oh
UFC.
yeah.
I know you're not necessarily on the Shane Burgos ranking level in the UFC yet, but I think
That doesn't matter.
in terms of where you'll probably settle around the same as he will. I think you're around that same caliber of fighter he is. I
Yeah.
think you guys fight similar. You have the same style. It's
I think
fun.
we're very similar.
You
Everyone
guys are
says that.
very similar
He
fighters.
said we look the same, we fight the same, we're the same size.
Mhm.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask if you are even like if it's just came through your head
Yeah.
if they throw you a big contract if you're interested.
If PFL called me tonight and said, Mike, we'll give you 100 and 100, I'm gonna find a way to get out of the UFC.
Got it. Got it. Just wanted to know because to me it seems like
Even like
you're definitely
even
underpaid.
70 and 70, 60 and 60. I'm probably gonna call my manager and be like, hey, how do I get out of the UFC?
If they can double your UFC pay, you have to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay. Especially when I mean, not to they're definitely developing, but the level of competition
The
is the
cow I was
UFC.
about to say. I was
So
about to
I mean,
say. Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
Kayla Harrison fighting 2-0 people
Larissa's good.
for $1 million.
Larissa Pacheco is good. She is good.
Yeah.
The rest of the division's a little rough, but Pacheco was solid even before she beat
Yeah, yeah.
Harris. She was definitely good. But I
Prior.
mean, Rob Wilkinson. I talked about this with who is it? Marcel Dorf.
Okay.
And Rob Wilkinson got paid probably what 12 and 12 to get beat up by Israel Adesanya, but then made $1 million to fight Omari Akhmedov. Put it like that. Like it's definitely a comparison that needs to be thrown out there in terms of
What's
yeah,
the
level of competition, but pay difference.
I don't care about competition. I want to fight bums. I want to fight
If it'll make you
sucky
money, yeah.
people.
I mean, why are you going to fight the best guys in the world that are going to give you brain damage? And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you
For
can make
very
if you
little
can
pay.
make money
That
fighting, yeah.
I watched Francis his YouTube. I watched his last video. They posted a clip of Dana White saying that he's leaving. He has the opportunity to face the best in the world, and he's just gonna walk away from it. Yeah, I'm gonna walk. I don't want to fight the best. I want to fight sucky people for a lot of money.
Yeah. If I have the opportunity to, I definitely want to.
Exactly. That's why Francis can leave. I mean, go box Tyson Fury. He'll make at least $10 million.
10 M's. Yeah, at least 10 M's. Yeah.
At least 10.
Even Wilder
So
would make him
and then
millions.
and then this boxing. So you got the business side, you got sponsors, you got endorsements, you got brands reaching out. He's gonna walk away with $15 million
Oh yeah.
for one fight.
That's what I said. Is
He won't make that in the UFC for his next 10 to 12 fights. He's gonna do it in one. Yeah, I'm leaving the UFC.
Did you see? Apparently, the UFC offered him $8 million to fight John Jones.
I think I did see that.
That's what Dana said.
Well, that would be 8 flat plus pay-per-view. So that's really good.
I don't know if I can believe it. That's a lot. Like after all this negotiation, after all this time.
Yeah, no, that's about right.
Like I don't know. I mean, it just seems
so
crazy.
Whatever is he's getting offered to fight Tyson, or whatever the reason, the opportunity he got has to be 20 plus.
Oh yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah, then it has to.
Because I did see that he got offered that much.
Yeah, that's what Dana said.
Pay-per-view attached to that, he'll make at least like 12 and a half with the pay-per-view buyouts, especially a John Jones, his first one back. Or I don't know if it was going to be his first one back. So it'd be his first one back. And with pay-per-view buyouts, with the sponsorship, yeah, he's at 12.5 million.
Okay. So you got the math down for this, huh?
He has to be making a lot more if he's leaving. I'm a smart kid. I don't know why I fight. I'm so smart.
Is being around someone like Dustin Poirier?
People ask me that all the time. I graduated high school. No, I graduated high school early, and I guess I used my knowledge of like analytics to become a better fighter.
Nice. You said you usually don't watch tape, right? Like on your opponent?
No, never. I don't have to.
Yeah, because you just like to focus on your own game and sharpen.
I don't have to.
I remember you saying, I just watched an interview where you said you would rather the UFC calls you up, tells you a date, tells you what weight, everything. You show up, weigh in, and find out who you're fighting. Because that would just be, it would make sure that every fighter is as sharp, all their skills are as sharp as possible.
Yeah. It would make every fighter. It would show you who's a real fighter. It would show you who actually can fight. Because some people are just game plan like fighters.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm scheduled to fight such and such behind an alley, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I trained my whole life, and he shows up with a bat. Like that's what I mean. Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna lose.
Yeah, no, that's
so. If
think about it,
we show up based on we show up with a mask on. We show up with a mask on. We do our little face off. Mm-hmm. Damn, who am I fighting? Who knows? We show up. We get in the ring. The guy walks out. That's who you're fighting. You had no time to prepare. Well, you had time to prepare, but you have no idea who he is, what he can do. It's up to you and your skill set. See how good of a fighter you are. Fuck it. I'm making that organization.
Go ahead. Why not? No, but I think that'd be cool for like the fans. That'd be cool for like you like that idea. The UFC would hate that though, because they wouldn't be able to sell any fights. They'd have to, sell.
Oh, that's true.
They'd have to sell tickets to a card that people don't know who's showing up to. That's the only thing. The UFC would be very upset. If they
start that way, and then the fights turn out to be bangers, people are gonna be like, "Oh snap, this is crazy." True. Let me watch the next one, and then the next one's a banger. Oh, let me watch, and they'll keep going.
All right,
you're frozen.
You're a little bit frozen too. It's okay. You've been going in and out a bit. My internet's getting.
I think that's tricky. It.
Okay.
Oh, no, you came back. You came back.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you.
All right. Well, that is all for today. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate everything. And good luck in your
Yeah,
next fight. I hope you're good and safe in the future. And thank you for coming on and interviewing
sure.
with me today.
Yeah, that's been good. This is definitely one of my more talkative interviews. I feel like
Thank you.
all my previous interviews, I was at my old place. This is the first one at the new place, so
Mhm.
I have the ability to talk without restriction.
Yeah.
This feels very good. I feel like I'm gonna do a lot of content in this room.
I mean, it looks great. I can definitely see you making a lot of content in it. So yeah, all right. Thank you, Mike. I just wanted to wrap it up and yeah.